Heading into tomorrow, we will be watching those clouds start to increase throughout the overnight hours tonight and into tomorrow morning. Notice at 6 o'clock still dry, 7 o'clock still dry. Don't expect those rain showers in the Milwaukee area until about 8 o'clock. So most of your early morning commute, you should be okay. Much of the morning just going to be looking at light to moderate rain. Throughout the middle of the day, maybe a spotty hit or miss rain shower. That wind is going to start to kick up from the south. As we get into the afternoon hours, though, that's when the actual cold front will swing through. And with that cold front, that's when we're looking at the better chance to see some thunderstorms, especially by about 5 o'clock in the evening hours. Things are going to be drying out then. As we get into your Thursday, behind the cold front, of course, as you'd expect, a little bit on the cooler side, but at least for Thursday, we are staying dry. How much rain are we expecting throughout your Wednesday? Really only about 1/3 of an inch, maybe up to 1/2 of an inch. Thursday again stays dry, but watch what happens Friday and into Saturday. We could see an additional inch or more of rain as we get into the weekend. At this point, though, Brian Goddard and I were discussing the forecast. We're taking the rain chances out for Mother's Day. So bonus for moms. 54 though, your overnight low for tonight with increasing clouds. Then tomorrow we're talking a high down to 65 degrees with again showers and especially storm chances in the afternoon and evening hours. That wind a little bit on the strong side from the south southwest, eventually changing around to being from the northwest behind that cold front. Thursday the cooler air pushes on in. It will be dry though again, 62 for your high, 67 away from the lake, and then even colder air arrives with more wet weather on Friday and Saturday. Those days are not looking good. Cold rain showers expected, but again, the icing on the cake for moms. Sunday looking much better, especially in the afternoon with partly cloudy skies and a high of 60.
We'll keep pulling for those moms. All right, we want to take you down to Racine County. It looks like they're off to the races down there on the Foxconn site. You can see that the big trucks are moving dirt already. Looks like we're going to have, they announced yesterday, $100 million given out to local subcontractors, and this is part of the initial work to get the project going in Racine County.
Making progress. Also ahead on Live at 4, coyotes spotted and dog owners are now concerned. An expert tells us what to do when you come head-to-head with a wild animal.
And later, American drivers have a new demand, what we are going to see a lot more of on the roads.
Time now for Ask the Expert. Over the last several weeks, there have been more coyote spottings here in southeastern Wisconsin.
Joining us live this afternoon to talk about ways to keep your pet safe around coyotes and other wild animals is Rochelle Lejeune with the Wisconsin Humane Society. This is a guy you definitely want to keep away from the coyotes, right?
Oh yeah, he's about that size. This is little Ryan. He's just 2 months old, so he's available up at our Ozaki campus in Saukville, and he'll be available when we get back to the shelter this afternoon. We're open till 7:30, so just such a mellow little pup, so well mannered for his age, only 2 months old, so just a baby and some great time to start training.
Awesome. Let's talk about some of the dangers again with coyotes and our animals. What are some things that people should be aware of?
Yeah, well, we're starting to see coyotes more in urban areas now, just because it's like a free buffet. There's a lot of food sources that can lure them. So compost and pet food and you know, garbage that we have outside. So it's really a community-wide effort to help and kind of keep those things confined, secure those food sources, but we are seeing them in urban areas because it is so enticing, all those food sources, and it's a pretty easy meal.
So what should you do if you know a coyote might be in the neighborhood?
Yeah, well, typically, you know, just make sure that you secure your animals first of all. Never let your animals outside off leash, especially smaller breed dogs and cats. If your cat has to go outside, we encourage keeping them on a harness. Always keeping your dog secured on leash. Cleaning up pet food outside. If you're feeding your cats outside or your dog outside, clean up the extra left over. Also make sure that, you know, you're keeping any compost in a tightly secured lid. And then if you do have an animal that's outside in a fenced-in area, typically a 6-foot fence is the only way to keep the coyotes out of your yard. And it has to be about 6 inches into the ground. You can put things, because they can get under.
Dig underneath. We only have a few seconds left.
Sure.
If you come face-to-face with one, what should you do at that moment?
Yeah, we recommend just a hazing technique, which is yelling, making yourself as big as possible, loud as possible. Typically, you know, they don't like to be around people, so get them out of your space, you know, yell. Scare them away. So,
all right.
Distraction.
Yes.
Got a question for our experts? Email them at asktheexpert@today'stmj4.com. You can also leave a voicemail. We do have the number right there for you.
Don't forget, Ryan's up for adoption after this. Thanks for joining us today on Live at 4.
More news ahead on Live at 4:30.
Right now, from Milwaukee, this is today's TMJ4, live at 4:30.
Right now at 4:30, the crisis continues in Hawaii. Constant volcanic activity is causing cracks in the earth and spouts of toxic gas into the air. More than 24 homes have burned down.
Yes, Michaela Lincoln reports from the Big Island, Hawaii.
Lava activity within the 12 fissures that have opened up in the middle of this residential community right now are quiet. They appear to have paused, but activity could pick up at any time, and that's exactly the danger that is posed right now within that neighborhood. Lava spewing out of those eruptions. It has been heartbreaking, magnificent, terrifying, all at the same time. Those are words coming from the residents themselves, who have the opportunity today to re-enter the evacuation zone to move as quickly as possible to gather additional belongings and supplies.
We had to cross cracks in the pavement and steam shooting up, and it was really foggy, and the vegetation is all dying, and it just was depressing.
While seismic activity appears to have slowed, that's another thing volcano experts are warning about that could change at any time. Right now, sulfur dioxide levels have been too high in some subdivisions to allow those residents to re-enter and try to collect their belongings, and they're very closely being monitored because of the possibility for sulfur poisoning. The situation here on the ground changes so quickly. Officials are asking residents to simply stay vigilant and informed. Reporting from Pahoa for NBC News, I'm Mileka Lincoln.
Wow, scary to see all that video.
Very.
Let's talk about the weather here at home.
We have Jesse here to talk about another nice day, but some changes coming.
Don't say but. I have to say that later on. We can enjoy this last little respite of what feels like summer-like weather. So far, we have had 4 80-degree days in the month of May, and we're only on what, day 9? Man, it's been absolutely fantastic. 76 degrees at the moment in Milwaukee. Yes, we were in the 80s before the lake breeze kicked on in. That breeze is from the east at about 15 miles an hour, so a bit of a breeze at the moment. Not the story in Waukesha, though. It's close to 80 degrees with a few fair weather cumulus clouds. However, we have been watching the clouds roll on in. If you've been out, though, the UV index forecast today has been at a 6 or a 7, so still about 40 minutes to burn. So if you've been outdoors, you want to have that sunscreen on. I forgot how much that sticks to everything. It's all over my stroller. Off to the west, though, we are tracking a storm system that is going to bring some rain to the forecast for tomorrow. I'll time this out and tell you how wet of a Wednesday we are talking coming up in a few minutes, guys.
All right, thanks. Well, here's a heads up if you plan to hire a moving company in the near future. If you're not careful, you could get scammed.
Karen Stiles of our Call for Action office joining us in the newsroom now. Karen, how are people getting taken?
Well, according to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, there are over 3,600 complaints that come in each year, resulting in an average loss of about $8,000 per complaint. The most common complaints are for delays, lost or damaged items, and being charged more than what was quoted. But about 15% of claims are for movers who hold a customer's contents hostage unless they pay big dollars to get them delivered. Quite often, people get taken because they were in a hurry to get moving without checking things out, got swayed by either a pushy or too good to be true salesperson, or they did not know the questions to ask or how to check things out. All
right, so that brings us to the question a lot of people might be asking, how can they avoid getting taken during a move?
Sure. Before you hire a mover, make sure that they are licensed, registered with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, that they provide a local street address and phone number, and that they are insured. Also, check out their reputation with consumer groups and other sources. Get more than one binding estimate for the total cost of the move, and make sure that you read all the terms and conditions of the contract, including pickup and delivery dates. A few red flags to watch out for include movers who are vague and will only provide a quote by phone, promise that all items are fully insured, or pressure you to pay cash or a large deposit up front.
So where can people turn for help if they run into a problem once they've had a move?
In addition to contacting our Call for Action office for help, consumers can also file a complaint with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. They also have a lot of really great information on their website about hiring a mover and what you can do to help the process go smoothly. And we have a link for their site in the Call for Action section of TMJ4.com. Charles and Shannon?
All right.
Thanks for that update. If you need help with a consumer problem, our Call for Action volunteers are ready. All you have to do is call the number you see right there on your screen, or you can just go to our website, click on the icon on the front page of tmj4.com. All right, for your money this afternoon, let's see what happened on Wall Street. Looks like a pretty quiet day. 1, 2, 3. Yes, the S&P down 1, the NASDAQ up 2, and the Dow up 3. Starting today, shoppers can find new deep discounts at Toys R Us. The stores have slashed prices ranging from 30 to 50% off as part of its store closing event. Toys R Us is encouraging shoppers to take advantage of the savings before inventory sells out, but you'll have to actually visit one of the store's locations. The Toys R Us website is now closed for purchases.
Well, apparently Americans are getting more and more enthusiastic about buying electric cars. According to a new AAA survey, 20% or 50 million Americans say that their next vehicle purchase will be an electric car. That's up from 15% just last year. The study finds that prospective buyers aren't so concerned about running out of battery charge as they once were. Would you do?
I would look into it.
Okay. It's an option.
It is a tax write-off, I think, too.
It is a tax write-off. A Racine woman accidentally charged almost $10 a gallon for gas.
It is a story new on Live at 6. She did say $10. Yes, this woman stopped at the gas station, but it isn't even open for business yet. Tonight, the bizarre mix-up behind the high price and how the station owner plans to make it right. It's all coming up new on Live at 6.
And it's not even California.
Right. All right, ahead on Live at 4:30, there could be changes coming to your kids' soccer program. What a new study is showing.
And later, a bus fire in Italy. What caused the flames when we come back?